Okay, we're back. Okay, done that one, done that one, that one, that one. All right, so we've got three more, pardon me, we got three more topics and then we will move on to the questions. Okay, now we've got a few questions to get through, so I will go through these next ones, which are not big topics. The first three is always really big topics. Okay, the first four. Okay, so extraterrestrials and other dimensional life. Okay, many people, when they first begin their ascension journey, they have trouble with the knowledge that we are not alone in this multiverse. And it is absolutely true. We are not alone. We ourselves are not native to this planet. We come from many other planets. We've got more than 22 extraterrestrial race DNA of... I didn't say that well. We have more than 22 that we know of DNA strands from other extraterrestrial races. So we are all hybrids of some sort. Okay? That's where the reptilian brain term comes from. Most of us have a reptilian brain. Not everyone, but most. Okay. Now, when we talk with extraterrestrials and other dimensional life, we're talking about the different dimensions. Okay. So ETs, anything extraterrestrial means any intelligent life not from this planet, not originating from this planet. Okay. Now, they can be multi-dimensional, they can be less dimensional than us, okay, or single-dimensional. They can be a single-cell organism right through to just mere consciousness, God source, okay, and everything in between, anything you can imagine, okay. So it is a really broad thing when we're talking about extraterrestrials. What we refer to when we're talking to ETs is those of the intelligent kind. Okay, those of the intelligent kind. So we're talking about Venusians, Arcturians, Sirians, Martians, Pleiadians, Reptilians, Draconians, all the other Irians that's out there. Okay, so there's so many extraterrestrial races, and one thing I do want to make a point on, which is not widely known, but it is so important. When we're talking about reptilians, we're actually grouping over 1,000 different races of reptilians into the same group, okay? It is just saying every single human race is identical and the same, when we know that is not true. So when you talk reptilians, we're actually talking about over 1,000 different races. Not all of them are negative. Actually, only a very, very small percentage of reptilian races you would call or class as negative to the human race. Okay, so it's a really important distinction to make. So it's yeah, very, very important. So let's try not to group all reptilians in together. Okay. Now, how do we communicate with them? Telepathically, through dreams, through spirit, through psychic messages, through our intuition. Lots of different ways we can communicate. They communicate with us through guiding us, through synchronicity. They're putting different things in our path so that we see it. That is actual communication. How do we get to more consciously communicate with extraterrestrials? Mediumship. Mediumship is the key to all spiritual, mental, telepathic communication with extraterrestrials. Okay, it is absolutely vital. Mediumship. Okay, yes, everybody communicates with their spirit guides and everything, no problem. But if you want a forwards and backwards, a two-way conversation, you need to learn mediumship. Okay, that will develop into telepathy. So if you can't do mediumship, then you can't do full telepathy. Okay, because they're talking about exchanging thoughts through consciousness. That is telepathy, and that is mediumship. Same thing. The only difference is that when you're talking mediumship, you're talking to beings that do not possess a physical body at that time. When you're talking telepathy, you're actually directly communicating with a being that has a physical body just like you. Doesn't matter what density, if it has a physical body that you're connecting to, that is telepathy, okay? And extraterrestrials, the higher the dimension and density, the more spot on their messages. It's just you that has to learn to interpret their messages in the way that they intend it to be interpreted. And that takes time and practice. Okay, so look into mediumship if you want to take your spiritual communication to the next level. Very, very, very important. I cannot stress that enough. Okay, it is hard. I've been thinking of doing mediumship classes, but it is hard to do mediumship classes online. You actually need people in front of you so you can practice getting messages for. So that's really, really difficult. I did one a while ago, and the people didn't do the exercises, and therefore the whole class was a waste of time. So we stopped it. Okay, so yeah, if you want to take it to the next level, you need to learn mediumship. Okay, but extraterrestrials and other dimensional life, how do you determine if they are positive or negative? Practice. Practice, 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 and it's always on a vibrational level. This is why you need to really be able to tune into your feelings. You need to be able to practice with your feelings, okay? And if you don't practice, then you're not going to know the difference if they're positive or negative, okay? It's all trial and error. Your spiritual gifts are exactly the same as a muscle. If you want to work that muscle and get it stronger and fitter and better, then you have to go to the gym. You have to work out that muscle. Your spiritual gifts are exactly the same. If you don't use them, then how can they get better? Okay, so you got to practice. Okay, so we'll just go back. I think I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. Let me see. Could you please define spirit? Is it an individual aspect of consciousness source that directly communicates with a person? I could not have said it any better, Catherine. 100%. Yes. It is an individual aspect of consciousness source that directly communicates with a person. Absolutely 10 gold stars for putting it perfectly. Thank you. Yes, you are absolutely correct. If a high density being can manipulate, affect our energy, does that mean they are vibrating at a higher dimension and impacting our energy only for our good? Is that right? Yes. Now, you do have, okay, now this is where it gets a little bit complicated, okay? So you do have higher density beings that have a low dimensional consciousness, okay? So it's kind of giving a child the button to a nuclear weapon, okay? Not all higher dimensional beings, and they don't exist above fourth density, okay? Once you hit fifth density, they are all positive, literally all positive, okay? Fourth density, you have a mix of consciousness, a mix of dimensional consciousness, but from the fifth density, they are all higher consciousness, and they all have your best interest in mind. The Greys and reptilians that have made deals with the government to abduct people and in exchange for technology and all that sort of stuff, they are fourth density with a low dimensional consciousness. Okay, they are not fifth density. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so you can have fourth density beings which are not that friendly, but once you hit fifth density, they are all friendly. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. Okay. Are they the ones that live underground? Are they the ones that live underground? Yes, and they also, many of them live on the moon as well. Okay, the moon is a hotbed of reptilian activity. Akhenaten, the Egyptian god Akhenaten, his home base is on the moon. He is head of that particular reptilian race. He's also a good friend of mine, and is an extremely skilled scientist and biologist. So he's not bad at all. Okay, he's not exactly the loving type, but he's not exactly the type that's just going to go and kill you or waste his time devouring you and all of that. Nothing like that. Okay, the lower ones in the reptilian, those particular reptilian races, yes, I would not want to meet them in a dark alley, because you probably would not come out at all. Okay, you probably would disappear very quickly. The higher in each of the reptilian races that are more negative, they have a bit more class about them. Okay, they're a bit more higher consciousness than the lower ones. Okay. Mediumship, what is it? It is the simple act of communicating with spirit. That's pretty much what it is. Is there some skills necessary to be able to learn mediumship? No, every single person can do it. You need an open mind and be willing to learn. That's it. Does planet Nibiru appear this year related to Ascension? Nobody knows, and no one will give that answer. Okay, that is kind of a forbidden subject. We don't want to give timelines because there are so many timelines happening at the moment. I know I'm operating in multiple timelines. That's why sometimes the information that I give is not always in alignment with other information, but I am giving information to multiple timelines of which I'm operating in. So we don't know. We don't give timelines. I don't believe it is related to Ascension. It's just, I don't believe that. Okay. Can you train us in mediumship or channeling? I can, but it's really difficult to do over the internet. I've been thinking about doing it for a while. I'm just not quite sure yet of how I would do it so you actually get so it's actually effective. Okay, but if I figure out a way, I'll let you know. I know Anya, she's doing one. She's getting that prepared, so you might want to hop over to her. Anya Steiner, she's really good. Do we ever experience what our soul has not agreed to experience? Absolutely not. No. Nothing can happen to you in your life that your soul has not already agreed upon. Nothing. And that includes being murdered, raped, shot in the head, abducted by aliens, beaten as a child. Your soul has agreed to every single thing in your life that happens. Otherwise, it could not happen, because your soul is in charge of your life, not anybody else. Okay, so if it happens, then your soul has agreed to it. It's very, very simple. Okay, all right. So we'll go on to the next. Oh, we've done those two in one. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we've got one more topic left, and then we'll go into the questions while I'm being eaten alive by ants. Okay, soul contracts. Okay, soul contracts is a very controversial topic, and rightly so, because your soul chooses your life and what it wants to experience. It's that simple. It is on the level of the soul, and there are many levels which I won't go into now because I haven't really caught up on all the different levels, so I'm not the best one to explain it. But there's many different levels to your consciousness and your soul. So what happens before you decide to come into a physical life, your soul agrees and chooses to have certain experiences. And I thought there was a boat in the lake then, it's just a couple of ducks. So your soul chooses exactly what it wants to experience. Okay, now it chooses the main things. Okay, the main experiences it wants to have, what it wants to gain out of having this physical life. And those things will happen. Okay, it will happen. If for some reason you don't complete one thing or something else, then your soul will come into another similar life so that they can have the opportunity to have that experience. Now, you can't so much change the main things that your soul came here for. There are many things that you can change, but if your soul has chosen to come here, for example, my soul's choice is to come here in this life to give information for the ascension and the healing of Earth. That's my soul's choice. That's why I'm here. I cannot change that. Okay, I can't change that. I don't know why someone's sending an angry face. It's like, it is what it is. Okay, if it doesn't resonate with you, then fine, let it go. Don't worry about it. Okay, that's just annoying. So the main reason why your soul come into this life, you cannot change. However, you do have free will for everything else. So if your soul chose to come into this life to die at birth, okay? So you weren't even to get a full breath in. Your whole purpose was to come in and die at birth. And that choice would be to help the family members, to help the loved ones in creating a scenario where deep healing would take place due to trauma. That's the purpose. You can't change that. Okay. However, if for example, I've come into this life to give information, I can't change that. I can't change the reason I'm here. I have to end up giving that information. I can't stop it. No matter what I do, I will be giving the information at one time or another. If I do everything I can to not give that information, then I will have to come back into another life at the same time to give the information. And I will have to keep on coming back until I do it. Okay, because that was the whole purpose of the incarnation in the first place. So you will repeat until your purpose is completed. Now, while you're alive, you have free will. So you've been given an opportunity for experiencing certain things along your path, which cannot be changed. Everything's set up for those experiences to happen. However, you can choose to take the left road or the right road. That is your free will. Either way, those things that you came here to do will happen no matter which choice you make. Now, when we say you cannot change the things that happen, that's part of the soul contract. You can change how you deal with it, how you deal with those situations. That is your free will. So because your spirit has chosen to experience very specific things and to do very specific things in this life, they will be done. How you choose to respond to those things is your choice. So you actually change the way you experience it by changing how you feel about it, by changing your thoughts about it. Therefore, even though that one thing has happened, your whole reality of it has shifted. Therefore, you have chosen to change the outcome. Because if you're thinking in a negative way and you're watching or experiencing your life in a negative way, you're going to have a bad experience. It doesn't mean the experience changes or it goes away or you've changed your path. It just means that the way you experience it has changed. Okay? So if I was to, like I'm giving information now, if I thought it was a job and I hated it and why do I have to do this and I don't want to do this, Spirit's making me do this, I would have a really bad experience. If I can't change that I have to give information. That's my soul contract. That's it. But I can change the way I look at it, which changes how I experience it, which changes my reality. Does that make sense? Okay. So if I look at it in a negative way, I'll have a not very pleasant experience. If I look at it as a positive way, I'll be excited to get up in the morning every day to do it, which means I have a great experience. Okay, so it's not the situation that changes, it's how you choose to experience it that changes. Okay. So soul contracts is very controversial and it's very difficult to explain, but in the basics, how you experience your life is how you, or how you choose to experience it is what makes it your reality. Okay, it's not the situation, it's how you choose to experience it. Okay. I saw that one. Why would being beaten be agreed upon? Never would have agreed that was hard. Because it is not about the physical life. Okay, being beaten is never about physical. Life isn't about the physical world. It's not about the act of it. It's about learning to overcome the experience of it. It's about learning to deal with situations in a different way. Okay, if you were beaten, then you can look at it many different ways. It was done to me. I had this happen to me. I'm a victim of domestic violence, or I'm a victim of a robbery. How can they do that to me? I never agreed to that. Okay, that's one way to look at it. There's another way to look at it that's really important, that is the healing way and learning to understand it. And that is, I was beaten. Okay, I can't change it. I can't go back and change it. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm also not going to sit and wallow in the pity that I was a victim of abuse or assault. So what am I going to do about it? Because I can't change it. Okay, let's look at it a bit deeper. I was beaten. Now, I am healing, or I have healed from my physical wounds. Now I must heal from my mental wounds. Why did it happen? And then when we look at it from a spiritual point of view or a consciousness point of view, it didn't happen to you because you're not the same person that you were when the actual act happened. You're a more evolved person by now. You might say broken, but you're more evolved. Why? Because you have gone through an incredibly traumatic experience, and now you have the experience of that trauma to move forward in a positive light. So you see, by looking at it in a positive light, yes, I was beaten. Okay, it must be for a reason. What's that reason? Okay, now I look at it. If you find the reason for it, and it's always mental, never physical, then you can move forward and heal it. And I know I'm rambling. And the main reason why people are assaulted is to create a trauma-based experience to evolve the mind, to evolve the mental state of that person, to return to higher knowledge and greater understanding of the human psyche as to why things happen, how they happen, when they happen. It's always about the mental, never about the physical. So if I was to come to you and set you on fire, and I'm a really bad person for doing that. I'm creating my own karma for another life by doing that act. You are learning how to cope and deal with being in a reduced physical state. You are learning why that happened to you. You are learning more skills. You are learning how to overcome situations beyond your control. Okay, it's always about the mental. It's never about the physical. And remember, your physical reality is only 4 seconds long. That's it, and then you're a new person. So what I just said 30 seconds ago doesn't even exist anymore. It's all gone back to consciousness. Okay, it's all just an illusion of a thought. Okay, and what I'm about to say hasn't even happened, so it doesn't exist. So when I say it never happened to you, what I mean is it's only the illusion of an experience. You may still have the physical scars, but it didn't happen to you because you're not the same person, because you've grown and evolved past that problem, past that injury. You may still need healing, of course. Assault is never a good thing. But it can be a good thing if you use it in the right way. Use the experience for positive. If it was domestic abuse, maybe you can be an ambassador for domestic abuse, or for women victims or men victims domestic abuse. You know what I mean. There's always positive you can take from those experiences, and it's always a mental positive. It's never a physical, always mental. Okay? Can you find out what your soul's purpose is? Your soul's purpose, many people say they have, many people say they can. If you believe it and you feel it, then you found it out. Because your soul's purpose has many purposes. Many purposes. It's never just, I came here to give information, or I came here to marry and have kids. There's always other purposes, and it's never just one. If you feel it and you feel you know it, then that's what it is. Now, that feeling may not be the same today as it is tomorrow. It just means you've gone past one particular purpose and you've moved on to another. Okay? They're always changing, just like your aura and your energy, always changing. Okay? Because once you complete one thing, you move on to another. Okay, I believe we're supposed to experience that in order to really comprehend that human beings are capable of it. Where we come from, we could not believe it. Exactly. Okay. If you keep being drawn to an area or subject again and again in this life experience, could this be your soul's purpose? Absolutely. Absolutely. It means that you have not yet completed your experience with whatever it is you're drawn to. So if you keep going back, it means you're not done. There's more for you to learn or do with that experience. Okay, so best deal with that, and then it doesn't come back. Life experiences, if the soul appointed means of growth, such as the triple negative breast cancer. Yes, it's always growth. It's always to expand your consciousness. It's always to learn and embrace new challenges. Always. It's never to do you harm. It may feel like harm because you may be suffering physically, but it's always a positive, 100% of the time. I need to remember that too. Is nirvana, come back here, moksha, liberation real? Does the soul ever say, I'm done experiencing? No, it does not. No, it does not. I don't need to incarnate again. Does soul ever merge with the source and lose its so-called? Nope. Souls are always connected to source. They are source themselves. They are consciousness themselves. So it's never, I'm done. Never. You may think you're done. I know I think I'm done. But the moment your soul, the moment your physical body returns to earth and your soul re-emerges back into the non-physical, it's like, okay, what can I experience next? Your soul is always excited for more, because, pardon me, your soul does never experience the physical life. It experiences physical life through the mental, through emotion, through thoughts, through feelings. Never experiences the physical. That's the physical body's job to do. Okay, the soul is always on a mental feel, emotion, thoughts, beliefs. Okay. So the moment you pass away, your soul's probably already organized for the next incarnation, because we know all the incarnations happen at the same time, because time is an illusion. So yeah. Must we have trauma to evolve? That again is controversial. I don't agree so much with you must have trauma to evolve. But then again, if you're not tested and pushed, how can you get past those boundaries? You know, if you never get out of the chair to make dinner, how are you going to eat? So I kind of agree, but not agree. So trauma is just another opportunity for growth. So if you don't push yourself and your spirit doesn't push you, then you're not going to grow. As simple as that. When I was 10, I asked for my life to be hard because I noticed that people with hard lives had a lot of empathy, and they were nicer and more thoughtful than others. So I had a lot of empathy. Good. Brilliant. That's good. Lucky you. Not many people would ask for a hard life, but you know, well done on taking that. Okay. Soul contract is the life tendency agreement designed by soul itself to its individual under God's magic matrix for soul involvement. Both? Yes, absolutely. Okay. Feel our soul purpose is many and changes, as you just said. In the end, it's about being of service to others in some capacity through love and understanding, even if it's just to enable them. Absolutely. Absolutely it is. The soul has many reasons for wanting to experience what it does, and it's not our job to understand so much why. Okay, that is the job of the soul, to know why. Our physical selves, it's our physical brain, our physical mind cannot understand the reasons of the soul, and it's not its job to. The physical mind is to deal with what our soul gives us and what we're dealing with in the moment. It's not capable of, and shouldn't be, trying to understand exactly why the soul does and chooses things. It's not its job. The physical mind is the whole purpose of dealing with in the now. That's pretty much it. Your free will, your choices, how you choose to experience. That's pretty much the physical mind's job. The soul looks after everything else. Okay? Why do I see things or movement out of the corner of my eye? When I take a double take, it's gone. Because you're seeing other dimensions. Okay? You are multidimensional and you see other dimensions. So you'll only get a quick glance or something like that. It's just, it could be parallel universe, it could be the spirit world, it could be, you know, a whole nother dimension living right beside us and within us. So just another dimension. Okay? My mum died last August and thought I would not come back. Oops. No, I lost you. My mum died last August and thought I would not make it, but In Search of Answers led me here and found new purpose for my life now. Fantastic. Brilliant. Can someone interrupt your soul journey? Yes. You. You interrupt your soul journey. Okay, that's it. No one else. Nothing can happen to your soul's journey without your soul's permission. It is literally that simple. You are full, responsible, and in charge of your soul and your life. That's it. Okay? Okay. Alright, I'll go on to the questions now, so we can get through some of them before we run out of time. Okay, so I'm going to choose the ones that go for pretty much everybody, and then I'll come back to the other ones. Okay, so dreams with past loved ones, they are messages. Okay, they are messages, they are visitations. Alright, if a past loved one doesn't come and have a chat to you, have a dream or something like that, then it's not time. It doesn't mean they don't care or that they're stuck somewhere. It simply means that it's not the right time. Okay, if they do come, then brilliant. Have a nice conversation with them. They're just visitations. Okay. Okay. I feel very strong connection with the beings from Inner Earth. Is my mission aligned with their purpose? If you feel it is, if you feel you're in alignment with some beings, or if you feel a connection, then go with it. Okay, don't question it so much, just go with it. Okay, if it feels good, then it usually is. Okay, I'd say I'm a good person, but tend to feel very irritated with people who are a problem. Now I know this is probably not a good thing regarding ascension. Question: will I eventually adapt to the point in which I no longer feel such negative energy? Nobody is ever a problem. Nobody. There are no problem people in your life. It is your perception and how you deal with it that is the problem. Okay, that is the issue. If you're not getting along with someone, take a look at why. Is it really them? Or is it that they're just not in alignment with you? You don't resonate with them? What are they saying or doing that triggers you? Okay, it's never about the other person. It is always, always about you. Okay, always. And this is really hard for people to understand. Physical life is your responsibility. It doesn't matter what other people do to you, or what they say to you, or what situations they put you in. It's always about you and your responsibility to that situation or to those words. Do you take on their words? Do you take on their beliefs? That's your choice. Okay, the other person is never actually the problem. You have the power to get out of the situation and to deal with it. That's totally up to you. And people don't like accepting that responsibility, because that means that they feel that they have failed, or they feel guilty. No, it's not about that. It's about you stepping up into the new way of life, the new way of being a conscious being, and taking personal responsibility for your life, your choices, your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and using that to better yourself, and if you want to help others. Okay, it's not about the other person. Never is, never will be. Okay. So I'll go to, where'd that come from? Okay. How do we know our current level of consciousness? We all shift between 3, 4, and 5D throughout the day. Okay. How do you feel? How do you feel? Do you feel unhappy? Do you feel that you're not being more higher vibration? How do you feel? Okay. It's always how you feel. Being 3, 4, and 5D literally are just labels for how you feel. Okay. It's a vibration. Okay, it's a feeling, it's a vibration. So if you feel really good and happy, you're in 5D. If you feel in alignment, you're in 5D. If you feel sad, angry, moody, triggered, okay, you might be in 3D. Okay, try not to get hooked on the labels. If you feel good, you're feeling good. That's a good thing. Keep on going. Okay, if you don't, then work out why and try and deal with the reason why you're not feeling good, and then move on from there. Okay. What is the difference between ascension and enlightenment? Are enlightened beings the same as ascended masters? You are enlightened. Everybody is. You have all the knowledge. But what you actually have is social conditioning. Okay. So once you start to move away from the social conditioning and everybody else's beliefs and thoughts and about your environment and everything else, then you move more to who you are, which is ascended, enlightened. Okay. And enlightened basically simply means have access to full knowledge. So access to your full self. You're fully aware of who you are, of what life is all about, of the spirit world, of consciousness. That's basically enlightened. Okay. Is it the same as ascended beings? Yes. Yes. Ascended beings are just beings that have mastered enlightenment. They have just returned to their original state, which is consciousness. Look at my hair, it's going wild. So I think someone might be patting my head, probably, saying, hey, come on. Okay. Will most of humanity begin activating our 12 strands of DNA? Oh, holy crap. I nearly shat my pants, you stupid bird. Stop it! That scared the shit out of me. Oh my god. Shh. Okay. Most of humanity begin activating our 12 strands of DNA. Only those who are on the journey, the path, for that purpose. I really did. I really nearly shat my pants. That scared the absolute crap out of me. Stupid bird. Don't do that to me. Have a heart attack. Only those who are on their purpose. Okay. Not everybody will ascend. Not everybody will activate the 12 strands of DNA. Not everybody is meant to, and that is perfectly fine. That is the soul's choice. Okay. What we have to do moving forward is understand that even our loved ones, our absolute favorite, best loved ones, they're not always going to be on the same path as us. They're not always going to ascend and be with us, and that's fine. That's their soul's purpose. We don't have to walk through our lives completely with the ones we love. Okay, sometimes our journeys separate, and that's perfectly fine. I'll take myself again for an example. My mum and brother and myself are really, really close, and we have been our whole lives. My brother's never, gone to look for a partner, and neither have I, and neither has my mum. We're like, we're all completely enclosed together. And then my other brother, he went off, found a family, and he no longer talks to us. And that's perfect. That's fine. Same with my auntie and her daughter. You know, they stepped away from our family and they went off on their own journey and their own purpose. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. So no, not everybody and all our family will stay with us. And they're not meant to. They're meant to live their own life and go on their own path. Again, perfectly fine. Okay? Alright, so not everybody will be activating the 12 strands of DNA simply because they're not ready and they're not meant to in this life. Okay? They may in another life, but this one, maybe not. Okay? Alright, so how will we know if we have ascended to 5D? What will be different? Okay, how you feel. Remember, 5D, as in dimensional consciousness, is a state of mind. Okay, you can be in it multiple times a day and nothing changes. Physically, nothing changes. Mentally, everything changes because you're looking at life in a different way. You're looking at life from a more love, compassion. It's kind of like using the fish tank scenario. If you're standing in a fish tank, you can only see what's in front of you and what's directly around you. If you're... What's that up there? Oh, nothing. Thought I could see something up there. If you're standing outside the tank and looking in from above, you see the whole environment. So that's what 5D is. It's looking at life from a much higher perspective. So you're looking into life, you're more observing life rather than participating in it. Okay? Let's see. What will happen to those who aren't ready? That depends on their soul contract. That depends on what their soul wants to experience. Some will stay in the 3D, in the negative mindset and the negative environment, while others will choose to start stepping out of that and moving up to the 4D. Yeah, it all depends on what they want to experience, and it's always their choice. Okay. Will they still be a part of our physical lives? Not necessarily. Some will, but you won't notice them as much. They won't be as big part of your life. And others will disappear from your lives, like my family altogether. Okay, again, everybody is different. Once we ascend, will loved ones from the other side become more visible to help? They are more visible now. Okay, so you're already ascending now. As long as you're returning to who you truly are and your vibration is returning to what it was originally, which is 5th dimensional, then yes. Okay, the higher the vibrational frequency, the more access to the spirit world. Okay, in 5D they will be more known because your spiritual senses and your consciousness is on a higher frequency, which matches theirs, which more matches theirs than with the low frequency. Okay. Let's see. Is it possible to only live in 5D and not go back to 3D? Yes, it is, but not very many manage it in this environment. Okay, not many manage it in this environment. So that is quite hard. If you remove yourself from this environment and you haven't really done all the work, you're still not going to stay all in 5D because you've still got, you know, all your healing of your mental mind and all to do. So not many humans have managed to stay fully in 5D. So don't be afraid of going back to 3D every now and then. You're going to do it, okay? You're going to go back and forth, back and forth. What roles will ETs play in our ascension? Exactly the same as they are now. So when you're in 5D, it is the same. It's the same. They assist, they guide, but you become more of your own guidance and less dependent on their guidance. Okay. Will everyone be able to see and interact with ETs even if they have not ascended to 5D? Yes, but their experience of the ET will not be as pleasant. Okay, because it is their perception, not the ET's experience, it is their perception that is not as positive as when you're in 4 and 5D. So if you're in 3D and you have an ET experience, chances are you're fearful, you're scared, you're angry, you're hurt, you're upset, you're blaming them feeling victim. If you're in 5D and you have an ET experience, it may be the exact same experience that the 3D person had, but your perception of it will be different because you'll understand more. You'll be more loving, compassionate, more open. So your experience will be different. Doesn't mean the situation is different. It means your experience of it is. Okay? So, all right, 10 more minutes. Okay, let's go back to some of these other questions. If time is an illusion, then soul contract is illusion too. No, because we're talking on a soul level. Okay, so with a soul, there is no time. Time is a human construct. Okay, souls don't work on time. So time is an illusion because it is human created. It's an agreement, a collective agreement to experience time in a certain way. So your soul agrees to that. Okay, and agrees to the timeline that the human collective has agreed upon. Okay, so the soul contract is not an illusion because it is a energetic, vibrational commitment. Okay, if it happened in the past and it's an illusion, everything is an illusion because everything is a vibration. So nothing physical actually exists. So if it happened in the past, then it's only the illusion of an experience or a memory, the illusion of a memory of an experience. Now we're getting more complicated. So it exists, everything that has ever happened or will happen exists vibrationally. Okay? Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It means it exists vibrationally. Every thought, every feeling, every emotion, every experience from everything in creation exists vibrationally within consciousness itself. Okay, and that's infinite. That will never ever disappear. So the thoughts you're feeling right now stay in consciousness forever. Literally forever. It never disappears from source. Okay. How do we change something in the now? By changing your decisions, by changing your thoughts, by changing your beliefs. Okay, that's all it is. It literally is that simple. It's harder to do and harder to implement, but it literally is that simple. Okay, change your thoughts, change your beliefs, change your feelings about things and situations and people, and you literally change your reality. Doesn't mean the situation's going to change. It just means that your reality of it changes. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. This will be the last one. Okay. For over a year, I cared for my very sick sister. She had a lot of problems emotionally from her only child being accidentally shot in a gun accident. She had a lot of physical problems, on dialysis, etc. She just gave up living. I don't understand why she wanted to die. I'm angry she gave up and didn't try to live or make itself better. I miss her terribly. Her dying days were grueling to watch. Listen to her gasping for air. I believe I might have post-traumatic stress disorder from it. This was about 6 months ago that she died. At times I'm doing wonderfully in my ascension journey, but at other times broken with heartache. We were very close. I guess it's only a matter of time to recover, but I feel like I'm staying in 3D because of this. All other times my ascension journey seems to be excelling. Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. Her soul chose that, okay? She chose to go that way. She chose to, I know this is hard to hear, but that was her choice. It's the same as if someone chooses to hang themselves or to drown themselves or slit their throat or their wrist. It is a choice. It is hard for us to understand why. And it's not up for us to understand why because it's not our choice to do that. However, it is for us to accept that that's what she chose to do and how she chose to go. And love and compassion. And knowing that you were there to support her in every breath that she did take and every moment that was stressful for her. You were there to support her. And you were her rock while she was going through that transition herself. Now, the implications of that on you is absolutely stressful. But understanding that that's her choice and you were there to support her in her the most stressful, heartbreaking time of her life, that's an amazing thing. So when you look at it, I can't understand why she did it. It was horrible. Yes, it was horrible, but you were there to support her. So try changing the way you think about what happened from it was horrible to it was beautiful. I got to hold her hand. I got to be there for her while she went through the hardest thing in her life she's ever had to go through. I fully support her. I wish she did something different, but it's not my place to put my expectations on her because it's not my life to do so. It's her choice. She lived it how she wanted to, how she chose to, and you were there to support her in every possible way. You did the most. You gave her the biggest gift by being there to support. And I know that she's looking down, she's going, that's right, you helped me, I'm going to help you. Okay, give yourself a big hug and a pat on the back. You've given someone the greatest gift they can. You can support in the most difficult time of their life. Okay, give yourself a big hug and try to stop understanding. You will never understand the way other people's minds work, but just being there for her through that time in her life, that is more than enough. Okay, so you don't have post-traumatic stress, you just don't understand yet, and I know now that you do. You just got it. Okay, they're telling me you just got it, and I'm getting a bit teary because the emotion that I'm feeling from you is bloody incredible. It's amazing. And you're going to be absolutely fine. You're meant to go through trauma. You're meant to go through grief. It's all part of the journey. It's all part of the journey. Okay, you're going to be fine. Love yourself more and forgive yourself. She's happy, you should be too. Okay, all right, so thank you everybody, absolutely everybody, for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. We've covered a lot of information. Some of it was quite basic for those who are a bit further on their journey, while others it's all new information and putting the pieces together. So I'm thinking of holding another one in about 3 weeks. I will call it Ascension 2. Okay, this is Ascension 1. I will call it Ascension 2. And it'll be the same format. I will hold it again here at a Facebook group. And the reason why, I was looking at other platforms to use, but I like to communicate with people and give updates and talk to people. And other platforms don't give you that opportunity. So, but Facebook does. By holding it in a private group, I can give updates on everything. I can talk to you before, during, and after the session, where other platforms don't have that ability. So I feel that this is the best platform for me personally for what I want to achieve out of these workshops, to hold it here. So I'll create another group, and I'll put up the link for the next workshop. It'll be in about 3 weeks, and so I'll leave this group open for another 7 days. Okay, so you can come back and watch it. I'm also going to upload it to YouTube, and I'll send everybody, I'll put the 2 links in this group, and so yeah, and I'll send it to everyone by email, Telegram, Facebook. Just message me, okay, how you want it, and I'll give it to you that way. Okay, so we'll cover some different topics, and yeah, it'll be the same as this, just different topics and different things, hopefully on a beautiful day like this again. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and much love to absolutely every one of you, and much healing and great ascension. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, bye.